Now, for those folks who are watching at home and they're seeing these three technologies, which, as someone who's like actually experienced them, is there one in particular that you would suggest people look at first that make the most sense?
You've got to look. You got to start by looking at the site. Sustainability. I heard you talking about the Habitat for Humanity house. It all starts with the site conditions, and really the cheapest energy is passive solar. So if you can orient your house to the south, I mean, no big surprise. As we walk through the house, we'll get to a sort of screened-in porch, which is a glassed-in porch, facing south, and that is the warmest room in the house. No big surprise. So I think it depends on your specific site conditions. We are blessed here with, in a sense, with no big trees. So the solar panels can be quite low and really hard to see from the water. And the vertical axis wind turbine is only about 18 feet high, so it can be quite low. If you're in a part of Nantucket with trees around, you're going to have an issue. So then you're going to maybe want to put solar on your roof. And the question is, will HTC, how tall a vertical axis wind turbine will HTC allow? And
will they give you skylights too, or how do you open up your house to allow that sun to warm up that room?
Right.
That's the other issue.
Yep. And I think that's a real, I think that's a real challenge. I mean, one of the great resources of Nantucket is its historic architectural inventory.
Right.
And yet that architecture evolved over time too. So how do we evolve shingle style architecture in a way to accommodate new technologies? And I think in 10 years you'll see, and it's already evolving, a solar film that you will put on your roof and you will not know that it's a solar roof. And that actually already exists. I'm not sure how efficient it is yet. So there'll be ways for technology to be incorporated. The Mitchell's Book Corner, Mitchell's Bookstore, is being renovated now using a lot of green technologies. And that's another test that's going on island, which you should film. And they'll be reporting out on what they're doing, what they were able to do and what they weren't able to do from an insulation point of view, in terms of the way the building is heated, the electrical system and the lighting system, and LED, whether they use LED or compact fluorescence. So there's no one solution.
Right.
You've got to start with where is your house located, and what's your biggest need. I mean, the TAFEs on F Street, and you can film that, when you're on your way back, they have evacuated tubes, which is a different version of this. This is a flat panel solar. They have evacuated tubes, which frankly are probably better in this climate. And there are a variety of reasons why we went the other way, but they're probably more right for a Nantucket use. And so they're doing that. They're not doing solar, but they have radiant in the floors, and all their domestic hot water is heated from evacuated tubes, and they say it's working unbelievably well. And that was a long and difficult, challenging discussion with the HTC. And I appreciate the dialogue about it. You can see it from the street. They looked at their site. There was nowhere else to put it. They demonstrated that to HTC, and HTC ultimately said fine. And I think those efforts need to be supported. Like Matticat, there's a lens, and if you're a little high or a little low, it's not perfect, but we've got to calibrate it, and it's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
I mean, it's totally drinkable. You can have something.
It does seem like the leaching field is uphill. Is that an optical illusion?
It is uphill, and there is a pump to pump it uphill, because the leaching field, you're going for maximum separation, and you need 6 feet by Nantucket standard.
So you needed 4 speed,
And so this was the highest point of the site, and that's why we put the leaching field there. And having put the leaching field there, then we put all the other stuff around.
Now what do you do with your solid waste?
It's in here.
In here, yeah.
No, I mean your garbage.
We recycle and we bring it off island. Yeah.
Could you garden out here too?
What's that?
Could you do some gardening and have a little vegetable garden? And would it make sense to do something, or is the soil just too?
The challenge is irrigation.
Yeah.
The neighbors basically came over one day and said, we love what you've done. It's a very modest house. We're so relieved. That was number one. Number two, welcome to Esthers Island, which was nice. Number three, you're not irrigating, are you? Because we're all worried about the aquifer. And so, it doesn't, might I have a blueberry bush or something, or tomato? Sure, but we don't want to have to irrigate anything here.
So I missed that part. You get your water from an aquifer?
Yes.
Okay.
We have a well sort of between us and the old light pole.
I see. And there's only so much that you can get out of that.
You don't know. And if you start, when you look at what water is used for landscaping, it can be 1,500 gallons a day, easy. 1,500, think about 1,500 gallon jugs of water You know, if you just put that on your lawn, you know, as
Every
jugs,
day.
and just think every day you're drawing that much from the aquifer, that's insane.
Right.
I mean, I think there's going to be a big shift away from big trophy houses to much more modest but finely detailed house. You know, the Big Little House book series, which everyone gets, even guys who are building giant houses. So I think it's going to be much more modest houses, and frankly, I think people are going to go back to the understanding that a Nantucket summer lawn, which is dead in the summer, is perfectly okay. And frankly, to have the perfect green lawn, which is using 1,500 gallons a day, is going to be shameful. And I think that is not going to take 10 years. That's going to take 5 years. And so it's going to be a whole
What are we going to do
different
with all
shift.
these big trophy homes, though?
Well, I think you know, they're fine for what they are, but I think people will build much more
Who's going to live in
modestly
them?
sized
What,
houses.
are they going to tear them down and rebuild?
No, I think that's too radical. But I think going forward, you will see much smaller houses built.
Yeah.
Because why do you need that much space?
I think we're going into a very interesting time, Alan. There's no doubt about it.
Well, as Wendy Schmidt says, a crisis is a terrible thing to waste. And I think in this crisis, there's going to be some really interesting shifts.